And welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and again, thanks for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. You know our next guest from her starring role in MTV's Teen Wolf, among many other films and TV shows, and she's now in the new movie No Escape, which follows a tale of social media and an escape room that goes completely wrong. It's out on demand and digital on September 18th. We're now joined by Holland Roden. Hello, Holland.
Hi guys, how are you?
Doing great. A lot to ask you about. Big fan of a lot of things that you were doing, but I wanted to ask you this here. First, for this movie in particular, had you ever been in an escape room before?
I'm a huge fan of escape rooms. Actually, my mom and my best friend and her mom went to Vienna, Austria a few years ago, where escape rooms apparently started. And so I've always had my last birthday in an escape room. I think it's a great way for friends to get together and have a different way of building a friendship, problem solving things you would not usually problem solve.
Is there a dream theme for an escape room that you'd like?
There was one for my birthday last year that was a camping one, and we were all stuck in this lake house, and every puzzle had to do with how you would actually get out of a lake house. And so there were like coordinates of the lake, and something was hidden at the bottom of the lake, and there would be like an attic or a basement. Everything was really well integrated. I did this one in Dallas, Texas, to how you would actually escape from the lake house and get out back to civilization. So it was really well thought out.
I love that concept. Actually, that sounds like a great one. Something else to ask you about, with this movie, with No Escape, and talking about social media, and just, it's really pertinent when this is coming out. But with social media for yourself, you have huge followings on Instagram and YouTube, and without giving away a spoiler on the movie, can you relay maybe a time that social media went wrong for you?
I can't really name any particular time, but I think that in this day and age where everyone has their own news outlet, that is their social media platform, be it someone who has a following or a fan that can gain traction with a rumor that's not true. I think those are dangerous tools to have in a toolbox that are the game of telephone and the game of rumors is pretty horrific and can cause a lot of damage.
I can only imagine, especially with your stature and your followers, that you've encountered some things like that. Switching gears to something else. This is what I'm really excited to talk to you about. You have a series called Welcome to Holland Days, where you launched this during the pandemic. The plan is to build this van to travel and live in it, essentially. What inspired you to do that, and what are you most excited about when it comes to living on the road in a van?
Well, this has been a dream of mine for like 3 years. It takes a lot of resources, and it takes a lot of van lifers who usually build their own vans to not be van lifing. And quarantine was the perfect time for me to reach out to some of my favorite builds. And thankfully, my very first one, Steve Mivas, he's at Free Tired on Instagram. He's an engineer, he's a builder, and he and his best friend and his best friend's wife, who are also engineers and builders, have been teaching me how to use table saws and circ saws and multi-tools. And part of me wants to just learn a new skill and be more self-reliant, is why I wanted to be a part of it. And then why I wanted to build a van is it just gives you an amount of freedom that's obviously not possible living in a stationary house. And with auditioning so much virtually, even prior to COVID, and now certainly after COVID, essentially, 100% virtually, why, I love traveling, and I haven't done a lot of it in my own backyard as far as national parks and Mexico and Canada and Alaska. So why not, why can't you do the 2 for 1? And that was really my goal. Is since Teen Wolf ended, I've been in Los Angeles auditioning and working and haven't had a lot of freedom. And so this allowed me that freedom.
100%. I mean, I think it's something that a lot of people would want to do, but it's a bold move to actually go do it. One of the questions that I had, right? I mean, it takes a lot. Like, what's one of the biggest obstacles you're afraid of being in the van?
The toilet. I would say, it's pretty. Technology is amazing, amazing thing. And these are not easy builds. I am putting a kitchen, a 2-burner stove. I have a composting toilet. I have a shower. I have a recirculating shower being put in. So these are really entire houses that are built on top of each other within 60 square feet. So you have to like small spaces, which I don't mind small spaces. you have to be willing to learn different ways of keeping up with our bodily systems that we're not used to doing in normal homes. And that's, a bit of a learning curve. But other than that, building your own home, there's nothing like it. Like, there's no other feeling I can compare it to. And it's a bold move, but it was a move that I had like a dying urge to do. Acting, getting my dog, and this have been like my three big, I have to do this. I just have to. So we're not done with construction yet, but I am more in love with the house than I ever thought I could be.
Well, I mean, and following along too with your series of how you're doing it, you are incorporating so a lot of technology into this as well, including one where you just put in a Tesla battery into the Sprinter van, which is brilliant. And I highly encourage everybody to go check out that episode. Excuse me. With that, as far as the tech side of things, what are you most excited to incorporate into this van?
Oh gosh, the recirculating shower is a pretty big deal. And then I am in a 144, which I purely did because of Los Angeles. Fitting in a normal parking spot's a big deal to me. If I had been in more of a rural community all the time, I probably would have gotten a 170 because 144 is really tiny to fit everything. And the recirculating shower is pretty cool. And I have a waterproof floor. And so how the toilet, the sink, and the recirculating shower all kind of sit on top of each other and then kind of expand out to their own things, I think was an ingenious idea. And fitting 520 amp hour battery, and 640 watts of solar with a 40-gallon water tank in a 144, I have not seen done personally yet out of all the hundreds of van builds I've looked at. So I am not the genius behind this idea. Steve Mivas is, and he deserves all the credit.
Just a couple more quick questions, and I want to remind everybody too of when your movie is out and to go watch that. But I did have this question. It's just which one would you want to do and why? If you come down to space travel or time travel, which one would you want to do and why would you want to do it?
Well, if you believe in certain multiverses and quantum theory, you can do both.
That's a great answer.
Space and time.
If you could time travel, which era would you go to?
As much as I would want to go to the past, I'd probably go to the future. Yeah. I would go to any time, at least 100 plus years, but anytime in the future.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I want to remind everybody too that No Escape is out September 18th. It's on demand and digital. What's one of your favorite memories from filming this movie to let everybody know about it?
I just love how realistic it could be. I think that in the day and age of when you ask kids, I think it's like ages 8 to 14, they want to be YouTubers. It's the number one profession in 2020. And I love that this was this shock and awe YouTube influencer that is trying to always raise the bar. And this could happen. You could bring a group of friends to a country where kind of anything goes and watch this unfold on camera. We've seen things like, the cat documentary, where this Facebook group on Netflix followed this guy doing horrific things. And so if people like horror, this is a very realistic foray into it. And I think Will did a great job of making that feel really real, because I think it could be real. And it's a great group to work with. Will's lovely. He stays so calm, cool, and collected with a lot of balls that he's juggling at once. And so I just had a lovely time on the project. And I think it's a creepy, the more real horror can be, the creepier it is. And so in my opinion, it's a pretty real story.
I agree. Yeah, the closer to something reality, especially with this right now, you're right. You could almost see something like this happening. So that does add to the horror aspect of it, which makes it a great movie. And that's why I want to remind everybody, No Escape out on digital, and on demand on September 18th. And Holland, thank you so much for joining us, for being here with us. Appreciate it a lot. Congratulations on what you're doing. Excited to see when you get the van done and when you're out on the road. Maybe you should call in here to the show. That'd be awesome if you wanted to during when you're out there. But
for sure. Yeah.
That'd be great. All right, Holland, thank you so much for being here on Digital Trends Live.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.